Hey everyone, this should be an interesting and hopefully helpful little video. I'm going to show you how to take Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix and be able to play it on a US PlayStation 2 in English. Now, before we get started, I'm going to say that you could probably use these instructions to do this illegally, but I'm not supporting that. This is going to show you how you can do this with a legal copy of the game, and any discussion of illegal activity in relation to that, I'm gonna have to delete. Can't support that. But I will show you how to do this. Now you're gonna need a few things, a few of which you'll have to buy, most notably the game. The other things are inexpensive, and you can get a few free programs to do what else you need to do. I'll show you everything you're going to need. Take a look in the video description. That's got a list of everything you need. It should have links to everything. Now, if any of those links are dead, like they lead somewhere that doesn't have the program anymore, or it leads to an item that's out of stock, please let me know right away, because I'll fix that. I'll go looking for a link to replace that link, and if I can't find anything to replace it, I'll leave it in the list and just make a note that the link is basically dead. So if there's any of those when you're looking at this video, just search for that thing on Google or on eBay, whatever you have to use to find it. Now, the first thing we're going to focus on here is getting the actual patch. So we're going to go to this guy here's blog. This awesome guy made the patch for the game in English and Italian. Now, if you just scroll down his blog post here, you'll see these download links. We're going to need the patcher here. Just scroll down here and click the blue download button. And I'm going to... oh, I forgot to delete that. Yes, I went to all the trouble of, like, deleting and uninstalling anything that I was going to be needing for this demonstration, just to make it a very complete demonstration, I guess. Show the whole process and everything. So, you get the patcher, and then you go back and you need the actual patch. Now, you'll have to forgive me while my internet is a little slow. My computer is a bit strained at the moment because I've got a few different things running. I've got like 3 different things capturing sound. No, 2 different things capturing sound, and 2 different things capturing sound and video for this whole tutorial thing. Now when I can actually get down here... why did it scroll back up? We are going to grab the English patch. You could also grab the Italian patch if your native language is Italian. And we'll save that to the demonstration folder there. Now, next, we're going to be downloading Llc Iso Creator version 1.1. This is another program you're going to need. I will explain why later, but for now, you click that download button there, brings you to this page, you click this here, and it'll start downloading unless your browser has security. In which case, wait for it. You're going to have to tell it to go ahead and download the file. Download is starting, ever so slowly. There we go. Save, demonstration folder. Finally, we have image burn. This is another program we'll be needing. Note that this page is full of kind of misleading ads. Don't click any of the download links on this page. Scroll down and go to the news posts. Look for the news announcement with the latest release and click on the click here to download, which will take you to the download page for the latest release, and a number of places you can get it. I personally will just get it from the official source here. Mirror 7 image burn. And we'll go ahead and run this. And it should come up any minute now. There we go. Accept the terms. I'm just going to install the main program file. Sure, go ahead. And run. I'll need that open later, so I'll go ahead and let it run, and I'll just minimize it for now. Alright. Oh, and it's trying to open my default web browser to give me a page that's like, hey, thanks for downloading, but yeah. Anyway, now that we've got all those programs, we're going to need to use one of them. We're going to extract Llc Iso Creator right here. And we're going to run it. Now here's what this does. Select the drive. What you need to do is take your Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix disc, which is not in here as you can see, put it in your computer's DVD drive, select the drive, and click Create ISO. You want to get it in your drive before you open the program. Now I'm going to go ahead and save it into the demonstration folder, and we want to call it something simple and short, and also note that you don't want to have any spaces in the file name. Spaces are not allowed because the patching program's a bit finicky about that kind of thing, which I'll get more into later. So let's call that Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, abbreviation there. Now, one thing to note is that while this program is running, you don't want to do anything else on your computer. I mean, listen to me talk, I've got several recording programs running in the background, but things running in the background is not the issue. The issue is touching your computer, so much as breathing on your computer while the program is running, because it's kind of fragile. One time when I was doing this, I popped open my internet browser for just a minute to check on something, then I minimized it and found that the ISO ripping program here, the whole window was blank, and it had indeed, like, frozen or crashed or whatever. So I had to end, like, Control-Alt-Delete, end task it, and start the whole process over again. So just either wait patiently or go do something else while this rips. Now, for the demonstration, however, I'll go ahead and just cut to the end here. Alright, now that that's done, we're going to try and patch it. Now, something important about the way this patching program works, as I said, it's kind of finicky. You know, the file name of the ISO can't have any spaces in it, but neither can the whole path of the folder that has the ISO, the patcher, and the patch itself. They all have to be in the same folder, and the whole file path can't have any spaces in it either. So, like, even if I got rid of the space in destination folder, or demonstration folder, there would still be spaces in the file path from all the folders leading up to that one. So your best bet is to open up My Computer, go straight to the root of your hard drive, and make a new folder in here for the patching. So I'll go ahead and drag the patch and the patcher over to there, and the ISO. Now, drag the patch onto the patcher, tell it to run. And personally, I couldn't get this to work any way other than typing the full file path. So if you did it the same way I did, like right in the root of your hard drive, you put the drive, the letter for your drive, in my case it's C, put those, and then the folder name. Another dash, the name of your ISO, ending in .iso, you have to put that, and hit enter. And just like that, it's patched. Now that we've got the patched ISO, we need image burn. You want to take your Kingdom Hearts 2 disc out of your DVD drive, go ahead and put it back in your game case, and take a blank DVD disc and put that into your DVD drive. And we're going to write image file to disk. So just click here
browse for your patched ISO, which will be over here. Select that. Everything looks good. So, start writing to disk. This should be the last step we have to do on the computer end. Alright, now we're almost done here. 99%. I believe it just needs to write a lead out. Closing track. Finalizing disk, yeah. There. And because I had that checkbox checked, it's going to verify that the write was complete and accurate and all that, I suppose. You could always uncheck that, because it probably wouldn't be very hard to tell if something had gone wrong during the whole process. How long is it going to take to verify, though? Longer than I'd really care to spend. I'm sure it's fine. Now, if you're impatient like me, you'll want to uncheck that checkbox before you go doing that. So now that we're done with that, go ahead and take your disk out. Here's where we get down to the PlayStation end of the business. So, switching to the camera here.
Now, there is a small modification you'll have to make to your PS2. It's not the most pleasant modification, I'll say that. So this might be something that could steer some people away from it. Oh, though I will say, there's two ways to do this. One is depending on if you have, like, an old fat PS2 like this. If you've got a slim PS2, there's a whole different way you can go about this, and what you'll need to buy is something called Magic Keys. I'll have a link to that, hopefully. And I don't have a slim PS2 to demonstrate, and I've never even gotten to actually try that myself personally, but I've got some instructions linked in the video description, so if you've got a slim PS2, take a look at that. If you've got a fat PS2, then watch on. Now, what we need to do is turn this on and open the tray. Now, I'll have to lift up the camera here for a second. If you notice this little indent here between the tray and the plate, what you need to do is grab onto the tray with your fingers and hold it, because you don't want the tray to get slammed down. That will put a lot of pressure on that could put pressure on the drive, and you don't want to, could be bad. But what you need to do, take something sturdy, like a butter knife, something that's not sharp so you won't cut yourself. But you need to get into that little indent, get into that gap there, and apply some leverage. And just snap that right off, like so. Kind of fell onto the floor back here. And I knocked my headphones right off my head getting it. Now, this should actually still kind of fit onto here. It did for me the last time I did this. It's, you know, broken, obviously, but you should be able to get it on here. I was able to do that last time I was able to do that. This actually was a cleaner break than the last time I did this. That actually even, like, snaps in. That's kind of nice. Now, we've got here the Swap Magic 3 coder. Swap Magic is what you need to play this game you just burned. Now, this is the USA version, 3.8. If you live in Europe or Australia or basically anywhere that's not America, but also not Japan, you've got a PAL console, you need the PAL version of Coder. One does exist, and I have a link to that in the video description. Now, there's two different discs. There's a CD disc and a DVD disc for the two different types of games that have been published on PS2. Kingdom Hearts 2 is, of course, a DVD-based game, so you need the DVD disc. Now, something I haven't seen mentioned in other tutorials, but something I personally had to do to get this to work, put the swap magic disc in, and power off the console. For me, it wouldn't work otherwise. Now, with that in there, turn it back on, and let it load up.
Now, when you come to this screen, you're ready to swap the discs. What you need to do
is take this cover off here that you pried off before, and it might be wise to just have it out to begin with. In fact, I might have to start over here because this really snapped back on pretty well. Definitely more so than I was expecting. Last time I did this, it wasn't such a clean break, and it did kind of hang back into place. I could get it back in, but it didn't snap back on like that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that over. Well, that was stupid of me, but so yeah, if you get a really, really clean break like this one, you gotta make sure you have this off beforehand. It's just, in my case before, like I said, it was, well, a very broken kind of break. It did not snap back on like that. Just kind of hung in place. So we'll get that back off again. Yeah, something just broke off this time, a small little piece. And we'll get that back in, turn off the console, and turn it back on.
So yes, as I said, this screen. When you get to this screen, it's time to do some work.
Now, for the fat PS2, instead of the magic keys, you're going to be getting this slide tool. Now, what you do with this, you need to hold it this way, the hook facing to the right, and you put it in the little slot there that you can see. And you don't push it in all the way to the left. Now, what you can actually do, hold it all the way to the left and kind of try to push in. You'll feel some rather strong resistance. So slide it a bit to the right until you're able to push it in farther. Now, if you did that right, the little hook should have hooked onto a latch back there. So slide this to the right. You should feel a slight resistance, but not very much. If you feel heavy resistance, don't force it. You don't want to force anything. It should be very easy to just slide. And that unlocks the tray here so that you can pull it out without the PS2 actually knowing that you're doing that, basically, which is an essential part of getting this to work. So with that done, you need to grab your disc that you burned and stick that in the tray. And then you slide it back in. Don't want to, you can't use the buttons to do this. You've got to do this manually. And once again, you need to hook back onto that latch. Same kind of idea, you know, not all the way to the right, but just hook onto it, pull it to the left. You should feel it. You should feel it move along with you and lock into place. Now, I will say this can feel rather odd to do the first few times, but with practice, it gets pretty natural. You'll get used to it. Now, once you've done that,
back on this screen, just select Normal, select Default, and you should be good to go. Let's see it in action. There you have it. Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, running on that US PlayStation of yours. But as if that wasn't enough, everything well, most things, are in English. So you'll be able to understand what the heck you're doing. One thing I'll warn you about. For those of you who aren't already familiar with this is a Japanese game. Now, if you've played Kingdom Hearts before, you're going to be used to pressing circle to cancel out of things, and you press X to confirm, and you press X to select things on the menu, like attack and magic and all that. When you're playing Final Mix, because it's a Japanese game, it's the X button that's going to cancel things, and it's the circle button that's going to confirm and make selections on the menus. So there's that one small little switch there that you have to get used to, but other than that, that's not too big a deal. You'll get used to it, and you've got English Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. Just like that. If you have any problems, leave me a comment. I'll try and help you figure it out if I can. Once you get it working, have fun.